Yes, everyone, you know what time it is. It's your boy Jack here at the Irish Hotspur, here to deliver you some breaking news on Tottenham Hotspur Stadium's naming rights deal with Google, a potential rumor that has just leaked out via David Ornstein, the Athletic, I do believe. But as we do know, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was opened up originally on April 3rd in 2019. Daniel Levy promised there would be a stadium naming rights deal, and he said, "We are going to do a naming rights deal if we get the right brand in, the right sector on the right money. If we can't meet those three criteria, we won't do it." He explained as well that at the moment we haven't found a company that meets all three criteria. We're not really close to anything on that moment, but it's been 3.5 years with no sponsors. You could say Daniel Levy had failed to deliver it because it did appear that with rumors with Nike, FedEx, etc., and Amazon, then maybe he was appearing to be a bit too picky. But Spurs maybe did really afford themselves the luxury, you could say, of being a bit picky because, as Daniel Levy said, he had three criteria that he was very specific about when it comes to the stadium naming rights deal. And there's also a particular person that he hired as CFO, Todd Klein, who I think also plays a huge part in this. And we'll talk about that later. But maybe he also kind of sort of played a role in that sort of pickiness that or choosiness Spurs kind of had with this stadium naming rights deal. But let's kind of maybe get into Google and kind of talk about maybe why they're sort of interested in Spurs. David Ornstein via The Athletic wrote that Google have struck a number of sports partnerships in recent years. In March, the McLaren race and Formula One team signed Google to its sponsorship portfolio in a multi-year deal, while the tech giant also has commercial agreements with the NBA and the MLB in the United States. He goes further to say that any deal with Google would be a coup for Tottenham too. The club's average annual turnover is the fifth best in the Premier League, and Spurs already have lucrative long-term arrangements with its main shirt sponsor AIA, kit supplier Nike, plus a sleeve sponsorship with online car seller Cinch. So everybody, at least David Ornstein, the Athletic, has sort of maybe put some truth or at least some evidence behind Google's interest in maybe sponsoring a stadium as well as a sports club like Tottenham Hotspur, because they are kind of getting into it or have shown signs of getting into it with their deals with the likes of McLaren, the F1 team, as well as teams in the MLB and the NFL. And also the fact that Spurs do boast a stadium that has not only concerts and all that sort of good stuff, but actually happens to have some of those American sports like the NFL come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Sort of seems to be maybe the home for maybe what could be a future kind of sort of environment or culture of NFL in London. I can't believe it's actually happening. I can't believe I'm saying I'm not too keen on it, but the people that do like the NFL in England and in Europe, I think, do see Tottenham as kind of or at least that stadium as kind of the home of the NFL for when teams do come over. So it is maybe a good opportunity for a company like Google to sponsor a stadium like ours, considering the NFL is hosted here and makes a big deal of it. But let's talk about Todd Klein, the CFO that was hired in March 2021. He sealed a lucrative deal for the Miami Dolphins, an NFL franchise, back in, I believe, 2016. And it was a £180 million deal over 18 years that was struck with, I think, the casino company Hard Rock, the third highest ever deal struck in NFL history for stadium naming rights. Todd Klein, in fact, loves our stadium. He told Sports Pro in a conference that I'll admit I'm a stadium geek. I love arenas. I love stadiums. I love clubs. I love seeing them all. All that one is really special. And that one in particular, being ours, is really special. And the reality is that you need people to experience how special it can be. So the world opening up, travel opening up, getting people into the building, and really understanding the value that you can provide a brand has been critical. So with kind of the transition from kind of COVID. I know COVID is still out there and everybody is still being affected by it, but there has been sort of a transition from kind of maybe lockdown to COVID. And I think he's sort of speaking to the fact that Spurs, the stadium, is in a really good market for team or for brands that are trying to sponsor a stadium for things that are opening up again, because not only does it serve a purpose for also also for the football team, but as well as for concerts. There's just so many different opportunities for a brand to really kind of sell itself to its customers and to the people that do frequent the stadium. And I think it really is an excellent opportunity, and it does sort of make sense with all the things that Spurs Stadium do boast. It's one of the nicest stadiums in the world. It's one of the newest stadiums in the world. It also has a huge capacity and has the ability to do a variety of different venues, a variety of different sort of things that can go on there, for lack of a better term, and that could seem to be a lot more attractive to a lot of brands. But then that also maybe affords Spurs the ability to be a bit more choosy. But those are kind of my thoughts on it. Again, there hasn't been anything totally confirmed yet by Tottenham or by Google. I haven't even seen any rumors yet or any figures yet of what this deal could be, but it is a $1 billion stadium, so it could end up being a very, very lucrative deal for Spurs. But do let me know in those comments, everybody, what you thought of this, what you thought of anything I just said, any of the news regarding this, and as well, do smash that like button on your way out, especially if you did appreciate the news that were brought up on this kind of you could say breaking subject, this big breaking news on the Spurs stadium naming rights. But hit that like button on your way out. Give me those comments down below on what you think this means for maybe the transfer window, as well as what this means maybe for Daniel Levy's sort of kind of spending balance when it comes to that transfer window, as well as Antonio Conte. Plenty of other things with how this could affect Tottenham. So do let me know in those comments down below. But as always, everybody, come on, you Spurs. In Conte we trust, and I will be seeing ya.